Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Archduchy. I am your host, Her Grace, the Archduchess. You may refer to me as such, or you can call me Dutch. And tonight's entertainment is Vampire Therapist. Vampire Therapist. Am I right? Well, Raccoon, if you would take a gander towards the tags on this video, you'll note that I had to tag Vampire Therapist instead of Vampire Therapist, because when you write Vampire Therapist without a space in between the words vampire and therapist, it looks an awful lot like you said something else. So Twitch won't even let me do it. It is a true travesty, really. But yes, it is Friday. We're doing Vampire Therapist, and I think that even if I haven't finished this game by the time Deltarune comes out, Deltarune is going to become the Friday game until I finish that in its entirety, or at least chapters 3 through 4, because that's what's coming out next. Because I want to be able to start picking up Breath of the Wild and now Elden Ring again. Reminds me of Total War 3 censoring my name to Rack. Which genuinely baffled and offended me. That genuinely baffles and offends me too. Do you ever see, it's like, oh, it was a really famous post for a time. It was like all the big accounts kept reposting it. That one poor bastard who he called himself Nasser in a game, and the game censored ass. That poor dude got absolutely fucked. Oh, but yes, anyways. I think probably next week I'll be doing Elden Ring on Monday, Breath of the Wild on Wednesday, and then Raccoon not. Now the shit's fucking with my speech, my vernacular. Vampire Therapist on Friday. That will probably end up being it for next week, unless I change my mind. Who knows? We continue. Oh, no. Do not mean to almost do that. I'm in your head, clearly. Oh, almost forgot. Come on, get your... There we go.
Yeah, you got any drinker's blood?
I know you are joking. You will not dilute your blood before a session.
Yeah, I know, you're right. I just don't know who I'm meeting tonight. Is it gonna be Dr. Drain or that Lord Luridus fella?
Oh, I don't think you were here for this, Raccoon. So the clients in this game are always either a parody of a fictional character or a parody of an actual historical figure. So what they're talking about fuck, can't talk today. What they're talking about right now is the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde parody. Dr. Drain is a scientist and Lord Luridus is an asshole. That about sums it up.
You only met a single individual last time, and you will meet only a single individual this time. Do not let Dr. Drain's avoidance of accountability confuse you.
You saw the guy, though. Lord Luridus ain't nothing like Dr. Drain.
It's called dissociative identity disorder, Sam. Get with the times.
And why do you think that is, Samuel?
Is it demon or something? Should have summarized it that way when I had to read that book in high school.
To blame Lord Luridus.
Correct, Samuel. A mild change in personality would be within Dr. Drain's control. Luridus is not, and therefore, Dr. Drain relinquishes control. Prepare yourself, my friend. Let us find the darkness that lives within Dr. Drain.
Okay, he labels himself a lot. Yes, technically, he is 3,000 years old. and he became a vampire therapist. And like after realizing, I think a couple thousand years down the line, hey, it kind of sucks to be just constantly murdering people. I don't really like it. He decided to help other vampires. And the same thing happened with Sam, the cowboy, me, the therapist. Except it took him significantly less time to figure that out. But yeah, Sam came here because he had heard of Andromachos, Andy, being a therapist for other vampires, and decided he wanted to learn from him. So, my boss and my therapist. I'm sure that's not a conflict of interest at all. Shit, where'd it go? Oh, it's already up there. Mr. Andre Macho. Yeah, sums it up. Let's see. Probably always right. Disqualifying the positive. Control I feel like these apply to both of them.
All right, I think I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
Do not fear, Samuel. I shall not let Dr. Drain hurt you, no matter what he is calling himself. Do what you do best.
The last time we saw Dr. Drain, Lord Luridus, he threatened us and we had to pull out the blicky. Twice.
I will, I promise. And here he comes, whoever he is today. Doc? Somewhat taciturn today, then. Well, don't be upset with me. I did warn you about that beast. At least now you recognize the urgency in being rid of him.
Well, you said you warned me, but you also didn't give me the chance to say no. You kind of just didn't.
Perhaps now we can stop beating about the bush and actually fix my addiction problem. I'm here to help, but if we're gonna lick this thing, we gotta do it honestly, and that means getting to the root of the problem. I tire of this self-examination process. There must be something efficacious that I can do. Perhaps some sort of aversion therapy. I am willing to do whatever it takes to make that villain just go away. Then you gotta be willing to address the big old elephant.
Shut the fuck up. I like how the sorry was immediately ready. It came a millisecond later.
And what is that?
Lord is just kind of...
You and Lord Luridus ain't two different people. You keep talking about him like he's someone else, but you both got the same brain in there. Complete and utter nonsense. You've met him. We share absolutely nothing in common. And what's more, I am fully aware that he hates me.
If you are unaware of the concept of self-hatred, I fear you've lived a very sheltered life indeed.
Take a look at this note he left on my desk. That's supposed to be you there with...
Sorry. That was like perfect timing. Look at this note he left on my desk. It's a stick figure with a cock. Okay.
Indeed. Juvenile humor, to be sure. Certainly nothing I would produce.
Oh yes, I'm sure you would have drawn him beautifully. With no grudge or hatred whatsoever.
Ain't he got the same penis, though? Quite so. I have no doubt he does the most terrible things with it. So somehow he's got a different brain than you do, but the same penis. Something ain't adding up here, Doc. I resent what you are
Clearly
suggesting.
he's a demon.
I have no effect on what Lord Luridus does. Ain't you giving Lord Luridus your permission to come in and do what he does when you take that plasma stuff? I didn't invite him in the first time. I had no idea what I had created. That his presence would become an addiction was not known to me. Dr. Drain, you're a scientist. Your stock and trade is in facts, ain't it? Let's leave thought out of this for now. You gotta be my scientist here and stick to what we know. Very well. Yes. The genesis of Lord Luridus was in the actions and choices I took. Are you quite satisfied?
God, it just sounds like it just came from a porno. like he took the drug for the first time that turned him into the asshole. And the asshole went and found a vampire porn magazine and was like, oh my god, that's it.
Doc, we ain't here for my satisfaction. Do you really think that? Well, the fact that I am upset right now certainly lends credence to the idea that you are trying to shame me. I won't lie to you, Doc. The people that Lord Lourdes has hurt probably would have a bone to pick with you. But I ain't here to punish nobody.
Having seen a couple of dogs in this game, I'm kind of surprised it isn't a porno. Me too, but we are still rooting for the polycule. Hopefully that possibly exists at the end of this. Because Andy has a girlfriend, and Sam has been having not platonic thoughts about Andy. So I am here for it.
Well, that ain't the way to help you. In this room, we're working together. You're doing the hard work, and I'm just giving you support. Catch my drift, partner? And so you do me even greater shame through kindness. I cannot win. Perhaps I should simply let that beast, Lord Lourdes, have his way with me.
What?
Scientist, Dr. Drain can often see the world in
Even
Fine.
greater shame through kindness. I cannot win. Perhaps I should simply let that beast,
Wait.
Lord Come on
There it
now,
is.
Doc. You're jumping right to doom there. There's so many ways this therapy thing could go for you. It ain't we destroy Lord Lourdes or Lord Lourdes wins. Jumping right to catastrophe just ain't realistic. Already you're fighting him by being here. That means there's definitely something in the middle. And working together, we'll make things better. Maybe not completely better. This work ain't never done. Of course, I am forgetting myself. I'm not usually prone to extremes. I shall attempt to be more mindful. I ain't expecting you to be perfect, Doc. And I don't want you to expect perfection from yourself either. What I'm asking you for is self-compassion. That ain't erasing blame. It's just approaching yourself from a place of understanding. That's a scientific method, ain't it? I doubt many in the scientific community would agree with such a statement, but I believe I understand the thrust of it. We cannot address facts if we mask them in emotionality. That's exactly it, Doc. I couldn't have said it better myself. Indeed. Thus my attempt to synthesize the thought properly.
Alright. I think, though, he's doing something now that I don't remember what it's called, but I think it's like intellectualizing, where you're in therapy and you are like analyzing, like you analyze your feelings, but you don't allow yourself to experience them, and therefore the therapy isn't actually doing anything.
Well, thank the dark powers that made us. Someone in here's the smart one. Very well. We shall take a strategic, scientifically sound approach. We will agree upon facts, develop hypotheses, test, and validate.
Oh no, yeah, that might be what's going on.
If I rely on the science, I will never be wrong. Hold on a sec. Before we jump in, Doc, I gotta challenge you. Even science ain't gonna make it certain you're always right. The answers science gives you might not be the answers that are best for you. I just want you to keep your mind open, all right? My mind is always open. I'm a scientist.
Press X to doubt.
I'm just gonna reflect that back to you and see if you think that's true. You're saying being a scientist means your mind is always, without fail, open. Well, I suppose that sounds a bit ridiculous. Very well. I shall endeavor to ensure that my thinking is flexible. Well, sounds good to me, compadre. Let's start assembling them facts. Can I ask you some questions then?
He talks like he ate a sandwich made of a dictionary and a thesaurus.
You may. Let us begin. Alright, so you told me that the thing that makes your plasma addicting is how good it makes you feel when you wake up from it. From your scientific perspective, what makes it feel good? From a chemical
Addiction.
perspective, good feelings or positive
That wasn't
emotions
even a good
are
fucking
essential
joke.
neurotransmitter action.
And Stream Manager censored the entire word. The whole fucking thing.
Considering the specific emotions felt in the immediate moment are contentment and satisfaction, it is certain
I'm
that
not a
I'm
very
experiencing
good modder.
oxytocin and dopamine release.
Look, you are still ahead of Mr. Mint, who did say an actual slur in chat. When Stream Manager censors something, it doesn't actually censor it in chat, from what I can tell. It just censors it from my end on my phone. But when Mr. Mint said that, it did indeed, like, not let them say. It just censored the whole fucking thing for everybody.
It is a primal limbic response. In laboratory settings, we observe a constant drive in animals towards stimulating.
Congratulations. you are currently doing a better job historically than Mr. Mint.
I think you're gonna need to boil that down for me, Doc.
Hi, Doc.
I did not come here to teach, but so be it. Ask your questions.
If you didn't come here to teach, then stop talking like that.
What's this about neurotransmitters?
This man is a cowboy. He was born in the fucking 1700s. Do not talk about neurotransmitters to him. He spent like 200 years in bumfuck nowhere, middle of the woods in the Wild West.
Neurotransmitters are chemical messengers that neurons use to communicate with each other.
He doesn't even know what a neuron is.
For example, social bonding reliably triggers a release of oxytocin, creating a sense of security and attachment. So, if I'm reading you right, when I'm feeling all snug after a good feed, is them oxytocin neurotransmitters doing their thing?
He doesn't even know what oxytocin is.
This process is an integral part of our brain's reward system, encouraging behaviors that are perceived as beneficial for our survival and well-being. So, survival feels good, basically. Yes, though I would not publish such a statement in an academic paper. What's the limbic? The limbic system functions as the emotional
There's my
center of the
laundry
brain,
machine going off.
responsible for emotional responses such as joy, fear, and anger.
I'm gonna wait to attend to it though. We're like 17 minutes
So
in.
it's like the part of my brain deciding if I should be scared of a rattlesnake or happy about a belly full of blood. Precisely. It plays a crucial role in forming memories and making decisions based on emotional experiences. Often called the lizard brain, it's evolutionarily one of the older parts of the brain, indicating its fundamental role in regulating survival instincts. I've been called lizard brain before, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't a compliment. So what's all this stuff really mean in the end, Doc? Why does this neurotransmitter stuff even matter? An intriguing question. Naturally, emotion does not have a practical evolutionary application on its own. However, these emotions signal to the reptilian brain whether or not we are under threat. Oh, well, dang, now I think we're getting somewhere. I think the answer's right in front of us. Oh? And what is it that your rooting, tooting brain can synthesize that mine cannot?
Can you not, like... I described Lord Luridus as an asshole earlier. You're also an asshole. I hope you know you are just a less murderous and more snide asshole. He needs to live in the woods. Throw him into the wild, leave him for like 5 years. I don't know, he'll probably come out fine. He needs a psychiatrist. I am not a psychiatrist, though, so.
You don't feel safe on your own. Taking that plasma forces you to get that neurotransmitter hit. An intriguing theory. However, evidence stands against it. Like it or not, I am a vampire. The only thing that may threaten me is the sun or a more powerful vampire.
You can't tell me you don't know what a fucking irrational fear is.
I should not be experiencing feelings of mortal danger. I am not immortal. Logically, I should know such a thing is ridiculous. There's them should statements again, Doc. It doesn't matter what logic says. You still got that part of your brain that says it's in danger, and that part doesn't care about logic. An astute point, and an inconvenient one. That we should be saddled with such vestigial, primal concerns is most unfortunate. Can't avoid the fact that we still got them human concerns. At least we don't gotta poop, huh? Oh dear. And you are doing so well. At least I have nothing to fear from you.
You know what? I'll give you that one. That was a really stupid thing to say.
It's true, though. We're still animals, partner. We gotta satisfy the animal. Just not through pooping.
Did you have to say it again?
But we are immortal. Why do we have animal needs, fears, and emotions? What possible use do they have?
I have no idea which one this is. We're immortal? No.
Dr. Train is diminishing the entire human, or rather animal experience.
But we are
Labeling.
immortal.
What? No.
Dr. Train.
Sometimes, Doc,
Disqualified if I-
you are just
Thank
as smart as
God
we
they
are.
don't dock points or
You're
anything.
wiping away all the good things about being human. I mean, let's say we freed ourselves from those biological concerns. Got rid of all them fears and insecurities and quirks.
You know what I just remembered? New episode of Apothecary Diaries tonight. Gonna watch that after stream.
Why are we doing anything then? I don't know about you, Doc, but I don't want to turn into a computer. All them great discoveries and works of art came from our humanity. Perhaps it is so. Do you know, I met Isaac Newton several times. The young fellow was motivated indeed, but it was his human vindictiveness that made him so effective.
A lot of things are done through spite, man.
All those motherfuckers who called me a nerd are going to pay. Words, he would say. Or something along those lines. So, he was making sure none of those motherfuckers could hurt him. That was certainly part of it. It was not just the love of science that drove the man. It is such a disappointing notion, however, to think that we cannot transcend our reptilian brain, even when we are beyond death. We're dealing in facts, though, and I think what we're coming to is that your reptilian brain doesn't feel safe.
I don't know, man. I like lizard brain. Makes me like being warm and cozy.
Which is absolutely ridiculous, but I must admit that it is somehow true.
Makes me like just eating an entire pack of pepperonis in 15 minutes.
What a devastating revelation. Dr. Drain, for all his scientific achievement, is just an emotional little laboratory rat who bases all his decisions in fear. Yeah, you just jump right to that extreme. You're probably the smartest fella I ever met, Doc. You ain't a science god, but who is? I think there's a lot of room between being a lab rat and being the perfect logical being. You are, of course, correct. I'm letting my emotions get the better of me. Most unscientific. Doc, I want to go back to one of them things I was telling you about in our first session, and that's self-compassion. Let's say you had some vampire apprentice, a scientist like you, who didn't know nothing like what you know, and said they were down on themselves for all the reasons you are. What would you say to them? Well, I would explain that progress is non-linear. The scientific method, in fact, celebrates failure. That which does not conform to theory still informs theory. Any chance you could put the scientist away and talk to their human side? Well, I suppose I would say that it is fine, that all things are temporary, and the universe does not care to condemn them. So how can we get you to say them things to yourself, Doc? My situation is not the same. I was trained in the age of discovery. I bear the responsibility for that age.
Dude, can you take the stick out of your ass for like 5 minutes?
What if this project of mine, to create the blood that will sustain the world, is not what I am here for? Then what is my purpose? Well, let me ask you. What's the purpose of a gopher? Rodentia, geomedy. Rodents endemic to North America.
All right.
Tunneling ability and as agricultural pests. I believe they are the prey of owls, snakes, and coyotes, and are omnivorous themselves, consuming vegetables, insects, and small mammals. I wasn't expecting you to be so thorough. I don't think I knew half that stuff. I have come to learn nearly everything there is to know about mammalian biology as a result of my research. Please get to the point. I think I forgot what it was now. That is
Jesus.
nothing. Hold on a sec. I think I've got it.
He's like a gopher. Gophers have a purpose.
Gophers have a purpose. Driving people crazy, that's what. Used to wreak havoc on the farmland back in Missouri. Absolutely ridiculous. That is not their purpose. It's an ill-informed anthropocentric philosophy defined and subscribed to entirely by said anthropocentrists.
Bro.
I didn't know bugs could be anthropocentric. Sapiens.
I didn't know bugs could do that.
I am saying that you have created a purpose for the gopher that the gopher is entirely unaware of. So, who made your purpose, Dr. Drain? What? Well, I did, I suppose. So if you made it, you can change it, right? But how could I change my purpose? I have always been a scientist. So that's what I am. All right, Will. Let's take that scientific approach and try to figure out who the man behind the scientist is. Very well. If we look at the behavior of our subject, myself, we can infer a few things. If we examine my behavior, one can draw a comparison to a threatened higher-thinking mammal. I spend much time in ensuring personal safety and security. What about your more peaceful moments? What do they look like? I believe these feelings are only medically induced through my special plasma. However, Dr. Drain appears to be at rest when he is full and satisfied.
So we have the answer. You never take the stick out of your ass. Only Lord Luridus pulls the stick out of your ass.
And your synthetic blood doesn't do that for you. I am forced to admit that at present, it does not. Dr. Drain, what do you think of drinking something a little more fresh and human? I will not. I do not have to. That depraved vampire, Lord Luridus, is the source of all that is base and vulgar about my person. Hold your horses there, partner. Maybe Lord Luridus ain't a refined gentleman, but calling him depraved is just like calling yourself depraved. But I do not do the depraved things Lord Luridus does. But you're starting from a position of disgust for the Lord Luridus part of you. How are you going to reconcile what he is when you're labeling him? But I don't wish to reconcile with him. Well, what if you indulge Lord Luridus once in a while? Maybe you could keep him from coming out. Do you not understand what I have been working toward for the last 400 years? I will finally be able to transcend this thing that I am. I shall be a parasite no more. Come on, Dr. Drain, what you are ain't a parasite. Look what you've done with your time here. Oh, forgive me for wanting to transcend the lifestyle of a female mosquito. Well, heck, maybe you wouldn't be so keen to transcend if you didn't call yourself them names. We all gotta consume to live, Bronco. Ain't no such thing as a perpetual life machine. I believe you are trying to invoke the first law of thermodynamics. Refresh my memory. Energy cannot be destroyed or created in an isolated system. It can only be transformed. Oh, yeah, that's basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, sure. What you
It is a
said.
salient point, I must admit. Dr. Drain, we really got to talk about some kind of middle path here. Back home, we tried the whole abstinence thing a few times, and it didn't go too well. We tried to stop drinking, and that just made people only do bad drinking. We tried telling teenagers sex was evil, and that just made them want it even more while being ashamed of themselves. What if you just tried to do some of them things Lord Luridus does? Just don't do them the way he does. I find the idea utterly repellent. Yeah, but then you go and take that plasma, and Lord Luridus makes the decisions. We don't want that, right? Fine. Fine. I'll drink some blood. But I warn you, Sam, the price of failure is most dear. If I should lose my humanity, all of humanity will lose. Doc, you really can't be putting the weight of the world on your shoulders. That ain't something you can control, compadre. Now, I know you're a capable fella, but the world is gonna turn with or without you. You think so? I can't imagine someone with my highly rational mind feeling so strongly if my prediction weren't firmly rooted in fact. I know it all seems real heavy right now. Just show yourself a little compassion and patience. Beating yourself up over a future that ain't happened yet isn't gonna help you.
The highly rational mind thing just beamed the fucking... You guys watch Jimmy Neutron, right? That's why I decided early on to sabotage my highly scientific mind with cartoons and sugar.
We need to go back to this thing I brought up before. You're a smart fella, Dr. Drain, but sometimes you're forgetting vampire commonality. We've all felt like the world was ending or that we're awful monsters. But them feelings are our perceptions alone. Yes, I'm aware. Perhaps I've been a little too human in my wobbles.
Wobble.
However, you forget my training in history. I am not an average vampire. I was trained by the great Professor William Harvey.
Wobble.
I have had 4 centuries to unlock the secrets of animal biology.
Wobble.
I have a duty to humanity and to my own legacy. A duty I should not fail in. Otherwise, what was it all for? Hold your horses there, amigo. You say you've got a duty to humanity? Well, that ain't scientific at all. It ain't just anthropocentric, it's Dr. Drain-centric. Nobody said you had to do anything. Remember when we first started talking, I told you about them should statements? That's what you're doing, compadre. Just remember that them shoulds are yours. Yes, I must be frustrating to you, Sam. I invoke the same delusions over and over again. Hey, come on, Doc. You should be proud of yourself. You know what the difference is between you and vampires who never improve themselves? You're here. You've made a commitment to getting your head on straight. And you're getting there, my friend. Already you're making some big changes and investing in yourself. I can see it. So let's cut Dr. Drain a break. How about it, amigo? He doesn't need the weight of the world on him. There's only one thing he should do. And that's have a little understanding and empathy for himself. You get me?
All right, look. I understand that. However, if we take out the Lord Luridus part of him and the fact that that is technically Dr. Drain doing those things, because it is his brain, Dr. Drain is the only vampire who has not killed anyone. In this entire game, he is the only one we have met who has not committed murder. And honestly, even if we include the Lord Luridus part of him, that's only been happening for like a little while, and I'm pretty damn sure he has still killed less than any other vampire in this game. I think he's also... No, I was going to say he's the only one who didn't kill before he became a vampire, but I think there's also the Sophia woman, and possibly Edmund Keane. I don't know about him.
Yes, I get you. Very well. I shall try to keep a clear head.
Listen, Dr. Drain, murder is only a legal term, not a moral one, and a social construct.
And I will arrange to drink some real blood. There's plenty of it in the lab. I shall just liberate some of it. Good man. We'll talk about how it's gone next month, all right? Indeed. Until then, Sam. And thank you for your patience. I ain't got nothing but time, amigo. You can thank me by being patient with yourself. All the same, you have my thanks. I shall see you in a few weeks then. Farewell.
Well done indeed, Samuel. I think we are starting to see a new version of the good doctor in the making.
I hope you're right, boss. That fella's awful hard on himself.
That is normal, my friend. Being a vampire takes a lot of self-acceptance. He is only taking his first steps in discovering this.
Yeah, fair enough. It took other people forgiving me for me to forgive myself.
And now you pass on this gift of compassion to Dr. Drain. Now, Samuel, the evening is still young. See what the night has to offer downstairs.
That sounds good, Andy.
Rest in peace, my friend.
I always come out of the doc sessions feeling dumber than ever. I'll check in with Crimson. She's always got some bartender's wisdom to share.
Now, the reason why I've been talking about vampire polycules, Raccoon, is because Crimson is Andy's girlfriend. And I would not say she has as tension-filled of interactions with Sam as Andy does, but it's enough.
Howdy, Crimson. Looks like a nice crowd tonight.
Although I gotta say, I hate the way the voice actor says Crimson. I think it's because he says it with an S instead of a Z sound. And I don't know if that's an actual Southern accent thing to say that with an S instead of a Z, or if it's just the way the voice actor chose to do it. But God, every single time it pisses me off so fucking much. He says it like Crimson instead of Crimson.
They're always a nice crowd, cowboy. We like to maintain an asshole-free zone.
I'll try not to be an asshole then.
I'm not worried about you, cowboy. You had a session tonight, didn't you?
Yeah, with the doctor fella. We had a hard talk about what being a vampire means.
I don't know when the next time he's going to say it is, but keep your ears peeled.
He's having a hard time coming to terms with it, even after 400 years.
I can understand that. I've stopped aging for the last 20 years and don't know how I feel about it yet. How do you think it went with him?
I think we're finally getting somewhere, actually. It's funny, a lot of vampires forget they're human, but he keeps forgetting he's a vampire. But just like we can't opt out of being human, we can't opt out of being vampires either.
Must have been a hard talk, cowboy. I sometimes wonder what I am. Staying the same age, drinking Andy's blood to live. Don't get me wrong, I like not being dead, but I still feel like I'm living on borrowed time.
Is this a good time to ask why you don't just join the dark side? It ain't that bad being dead.
I'm just not sure what I'd do with forever, you know? Eternity's a long time.
You could still die at any time, though. Being a vampire doesn't mean that you can't die. Just means that you will not die of old age. You get sick of it, you can just walk out into the sun at any time.
Yeah, I think a lot of us vampires can't answer that question either. And I don't think there's one answer anyway.
There you go. So I guess I'll keep putting off the question.
But nobody's rushing you, Crimson.
Right there. Crimson instead of Crimson. I don't know why. I. It feels like nails on a chalkboard every time he says it.
Think I'd let anyone? But thanks for listening, cowboy. Now why don't you go mingle? There's a new fella in the kink room who's very interested to meet you.
Oh, I was hoping it wouldn't be the eye lady again. She pisses me off so much.
I guess I'll go be social then. Thanks, Crimson.
Ah, stop saying it. Oh God. that is kiss makeup.
Greetings, my child.
Siren. Am I pronouncing that right? I don't even know if I'm pronouncing. Hold on. I think I'm pronouncing it right. But the first time I ever heard that name, I didn't hear it, I read it. So. Oh, no. It is not pronounced like that. Kieran. We can also get a little thingy. Yeah, it's an Irish name. I guess I never realized that it would be pronounced a different way than it's spelled because it doesn't have the accent on the A that it's sometimes written with. So it didn't even register in my mind. Wait, hold on. Son of a bitch, that's not the pronunciation video. That's an ad before the pronunciation video.
You are looking at Julian's pronunciation guide, where we look at how to pronounce better some of the most mispronounced words in the world, like this other curious word. But how do you say what you're looking for today? We are looking at how to pronounce these names, as well as how to say more interesting but often confusing Irish names. So
You do?
make sure to stay tuned to the channel. How do you say it? Kieran.
Oh.
Kieran. Here are more videos on how to.
Okay. I guess it's Kieran and not Kieran. Kieran. That makes sense. Alright, so who the fuck are you?
Keep your distance, amigo.
Why does he try so
I
hard?
know our kind ain't had good history, but I ain't in the mood for an exorcism or nothing.
Oh, I thought he had a problem with him because he knew him. No, he's got a problem with him because he's dressed like a goth priest.
My child of the dark. If I were to exorcise you, nothing would be left when I was done.
That's a good accent. That's gotta be somebody who's actually Irish.
Only the good Lord is free of sin. We are all children of darkness.
Holy smokes, what Bible have you been reading?
I had good relations with them juggalos, amigo.
I know my scripture, my son. However, I am by scripture and dark metal ordained, not by any church of man.
Well, now you just sound pretentious.
So, you're some kind of freelance priest?
Yes, I suppose I am. It is the only way I can give succor to those who need it most.
So I gotta ask, seeing as we're in a kink room, what kind of sucker are we talking about?
Corny.
I follow in the path of the Lord. I share my body, and I share my blood.
Ain't this a little blasphemous for your kind?
To whom, my child? God is in everything, including you, sweet vampire. Can God blaspheme against himself? I merely wish to give comfort to those who live in darkness. And so, I choose to live in darkness with them.
This is sounding less like a priest or even a goth priest, and more like that one D&D class monk who can heal people by punching them.
Come, my son. I shall give succor to you.
Stop saying that.
All right. Maybe if you stop calling it that.
Okay, thank you. We're pressing S to skip. Oh, why did you do that? Nah, stop making those noises.
Are you comforted?
Yeah, I guess I am.
I know those of my faith have hunted your kind. Perhaps we fear our own sin, so we seek the sins of others. I seek only the Lord in everything, as do we all, whether we know it or not.
I don't like it.
You ain't
I don't want them I'm wearing headphones, dude. I don't want them making those noises in my ear.
I am Kieran. It means little dark one.
Oh, I guess I could have waited.
The night always did call to me.
Well, Kieran, I'm Sam, and I appreciate the blood, but I'm gonna turn in. I'm a little sleepy now.
But yeah, the first time I saw that name was, oh shit. It's, you know the like, religion Wicca, the witch stuff? I have a book series that I read about it, and it was like if Wicca and like magic was like, I don't want to say if it was real because it exists and it is like a religion and people believe in it. If like it was more obviously real, where like they could do spells and there were obvious effects that were like immediately visible, and there was some like stuff like shape shifting and shit. And one of the major villains was named Kieran, but I was calling him Siren in my head because I didn't know how to pronounce it and I never looked it up. So.
Go with God, my child of the night.
Oh, yeah, I'll do that.
A fine evening to you, Samuel. Are you ready for tonight's session with Signora Teste?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're making some good progress.
That is wonderful. Remember, though, that the road to inner peace is not a straight line.
True enough. I like to say I didn't make my path. Nature did.
Samuel, you have the makings of a poet.
Oh, I meant it more literally. When I was walking in the woods, I just walked where the land led me.
But you see, this is a wonderful metaphor. If there is a valley between two mountains, that is the path nature takes us on. We often choose to climb the mountain instead when the easier path is made for us. Your experience guides your intuition more than you might expect, my friend.
Guess it's that peasant wisdom the Signora mentions.
Be careful with the labeling, my friend.
I didn't mean it in a bad way. I ain't ashamed of being a peasant. I'm just folks, as we like to say.
I can see why the Signora has become quite fond of you. Are you prepared for your session with her?
Yeah, I think with our progress, there might be some other distortions to focus on. Let me think.
Like, there we go. That's probably fine.
Locked and loaded.
The people of your country have so many colorful phrases having to do with firearms. I do not understand the obsession.
Hey, like, most phrases in the English language come from horses, actually, so fuck you. Way less have anything to do with guns.
I can't explain it neither.
Also, at the very least, this man is a cowboy, an outlaw. Of course he's talking about guns and
You
shit.
alone with the Signora, Samuel.
Howdy, Signora. Good to see you tonight.
You are looking forward to seeing me.
Oh, don't make it like
Well,
that.
sure I was. You're an interesting person, Signora. It's a privilege to get to know you.
Oh no, stop
You
it.
have learned something of manners yourself. I thought I
This
lost
is not
about
going
the
to
things
become
we talked
flirting,
about
I
last time,
swear.
you know.
This better not.
Yeah. What about exactly?
I have my ship and it's going to sail if I make it.
About how foolish I was for wasting my time for so long fighting against reality.
Oh, jeez, already? No.
A woman so learned and accomplished was
Okay.
About how foolish I
A woman so learned.
about how foolish I was for wasting.
Now hold on, Signora. Maybe you were fighting reality some, but that doesn't mean you were wasting your time. That fighting with reality is just part of what makes you human. It's your experience, your journey that you're learning from.
But if the aim was to control my family, I failed to achieve that aim.
Yeah, but that's real all or nothing aim, Signora. It's easy to fail when the conditions for winning are so narrow, right?
Yes, you are, of course, correct. Would that I had listened to the simpletons in my life earlier.
Hey!
Well, I'm glad you've been doing some thinking. You were putting so much pressure on yourself to be the one keeping your family going. I can tell how much it was weighing on you.
I spent so long trying to fix them, trying to transform them into something that they were not.
But yeah, this is one of the real historical figures. Very, well, not famous, I suppose, but very important patron of the arts.
May I talk to you about my ex-husband, Sam?
Of course you can. I know he gave you a lot of grief.
He hurt me deeply, in so very many ways. He was the start of all my delusions because I thought I could fix him. I thought Frankie was the way he was because I was not an ideal wife. That perhaps he would have been faithful if I had been as beautiful or fertile as a Medici.
No, an Italian noblewoman. I forget the names, but her husband and son were fairly significant figures. Like, not that we would know them from just learning about them in, like, our world history classes, but, like, enough that someone in an Italian, in Italy might learn about them in their history class.
I know I have been arguing with reality, as you have said, but the idea of a fruitful marriage, sanctified by God, this was the only reality I had. But that reality did not match with mine. God could not have blessed both our marriage and riddled Frankie's penis with French diseases.
But yeah, they did show a painting on screen at one point of, like a real historical painting from, I don't remember if it was the Renaissance or a different period, but I presume, I didn't actually confirm, but I presume that was one of the paintings of an artist she actually sponsored.
French
We used to call syphilis the malfrance.
diseases don't belong to any nationality. You sound like a certain politician from back home.
Don't make timely jokes. I don't want to think about that shit right now. Just want to play my stupid vampire therapist game. It's not stupid. I'm being mean.
Do not insult me. Have I not suffered enough with my husband's disgusting malady?
And also, wait, now I want to know, where did syphilis come from? Oh yeah. Okay, it wasn't created by him or anything, but Christopher Columbus did kind of popularize syphilis, so to speak.
It was a painful lie to live. I could only conclude from my sorrow that God was testing me endlessly.
Again, senor,
I got it.
back to where we started. You were you, and Frankie was Frankie. Your sorrow was natural. If you mix fire and gunpowder, there's always going to be an explosion, and it ain't God or fate that's causing it.
I suppose it is true. I was merely unlucky enough to be an eligible duchess to a most ineligible duke.
I think this just needs a little reframing. I know you were dealt a rough hand, but doesn't necessarily mean you were being tested. Sometimes we just gotta make do with the hand we got.
You got to know when to hold 'em.
What I'm suggesting is that
Know
then
when to
and
fold 'em.
now, a radical acceptance
Know
approach
when
could
to
help
walk away.
What
and
do you
know when
mean?
to run. You never count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for
you. You could have
counting.
become a nun, right?
When the
that would've been a way
dealing's
out of
done.
your
Sam, you know me better than most at this point. Could I have been a nun?
You make an excellent point, my good woman.
Well, I guess you could have been the queen of the nuns.
That was not an available position.
I believe it's referred to as Mother Superior, my good man. Though this woman probably could have muscled her way into being the Pope.
Maybe it wouldn't have worked out then.
Not polyamorous. Polyamorous does not fix the fact that he had diseases.
You could have had some sort of secret arrangement. That was pretty common back then, right?
Oh, we did have a secret arrangement. The arrangement was that he kept secrets from me and I pretended not to know about them.
Had you ever considered talking about it?
I could not. You do not know what it was like back then. A woman, even one such as I, was always subject to her husband. I did not have a say in his affairs. I had to play the part of the good wife and mother. You must understand, I only earned my significant power by playing the societal game.
But he knew you were aware of his indiscretions, didn't he?
Yes, and clearly he did not give a shit, Sam. What is the point you are trying to make?
It was hard to deny when he approached me with that rotten thing between his legs.
So why not bring the issue out in the open?
He would have become angry, I am sure. Perhaps he would have beaten me and taken away the privileges I had worked so hard to earn. Perhaps it is pointless to tread over the past again and again. What has happened has happened. It has been nearly 5 centuries. I should not let the past haunt me so. If I am true, Sam, I am still very angry about all the lies I was told. I may be harboring some resentment.
May?
You don't say.
You will understand when I tell you of Frankie's greatest cruelty.
Him giving you syphilis and not giving a shit was not his greatest cruelty? I am
I
scared.
will tell you that the man, for all his fighting spirit, had very weak sperm, for he could not sprout a male seed in my womb.
Really? That's it?
Hold on, are you really blaming your husband's sperm for your having girls?
Yes, Sam, because funny enough, it actually is the man's fault in this case. Don't cast doubt on this shit.
It could not have been my fault.
Senora, even I know it's just luck of the draw. I think you know that too.
Fine. Perhaps I just wanted to insult Frankie. But I will continue.
And you were right to do so. Moving
My
on.
first child was a girl. I could not have been more embarrassed. Or so I thought. Until I had my second child, who was also a girl.
Well, this is a little rude.
I will tell you, Sam. I was a young woman in mourning. I did not emerge from my chambers for weeks. The next time, finally, I had a boy. My beautiful Federico. He was such a charming child. He would entertain me so with his clownish behavior.
Oh no, she's a boy, Mom.
May I show you a picture, Sam?
Well, sure, let's take a look.
Look at him.
Oh my god, I found that
He's a
picture when I was looking these
beautiful-
people up.
He could have been a movie star or a model today, don't you think? Admit it. He is the most handsome boy who ever walked this cursed earth.
Oh,
Why am I asking you? What did you admit? Anyway, I gave all of myself to him. All my guidance, all my wisdom, and all of my love. Everyone said, "You are doting on him. Give him some air." How dare they tell me my business? I am Isabella d'Este. I know what is right.
Senora, I'm sure you knew what was best for your son, but ain't it possible that those people might have been able to help you? It's lonely work when you feel like you can't listen to anyone else.
Are you telling me how I should have raised my son?
I got a better sense of self-preservation than that, Senora. But you gotta admit, this Nosferatu thinking of being always right is pretty exhausting, ain't it?
Oh, that is true. And as it turned out, pointless. It did not matter in the end. Frankie, in his supreme foolishness, managed to get himself captured by the French.
Yee.
He ransomed himself out of prison with something more precious than all the gold in Venezia, more valuable than the Pope's seat. He sold my son, my beautiful Federico.
Dang, that must have been devastating, Senora. I can't imagine how painful that must have been.
No, you cannot. For you will never be a mother to a son so beautiful, so intelligent, and so pure.
Damn, lady. Not a word about your daughters except for how much they disappointed you by being daughters. But oh my god, this man was Christ born again.
But that was not the end of my pain. It was not enough to take my son away. Not content to merely break me, the French, as always, needed to corrupt.
Oh, oops, hit the wrong button.
They sent my sweet Federico to a den of filth, a place where chastity went to die, straight to the crossroads of Sodom and Gomorrah. They sent him to the Vatican.
What?
The Vatican? Seems like that'd be a pretty boring place for a boy to spend time.
This was Rodrigo Borgia's Vatican.
Ooh.
It was a city of prostitutes and perverts, and he was their mayor.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy to think about sometimes how it is, like, obviously there's still secret horrible shit that goes on in, like, Catholicism and the Vatican. Like, there's always going to be horrible people in places like that. But it is kind of crazy to think about that at least publicly, the Pope and the Vatican, they behave so much better than they did historically.
My poor Federico. He was a boy of a certain age. I could not have prepared him for the temptations he encountered. When he finally returned to me, he was no longer Isabella d'Este's child. He was the child of Francesco Gonzaga, an experienced whoremonger in his own right.
Hold on a sec. No longer your child? You can't think that's true. You raised that boy, and there's no way he could forget you. Maybe he got up to shenanigans out there in the Vatican, but you're only hurting yourself by erasing your influence on him. Now be honest. Did he lose everything you taught him?
No. He still had an appreciation of art, for which he had some taste. And he had some political acumen, I suppose.
I'm not saying you should forget what happened to your son. That would be pretty unrealistic. But give yourself some credit for the influence you had, huh?
You are kind, Sam. Thank you. But it is hard to forget the child who returned to me. I am a man now, mother, he would say. I do not have to listen to you. And indeed, he did not. Which is why he died of syphilis, just like his depraved father. He did not even have the courtesy to wait until I was dead. Now do you understand why I prefer the illusion of truth and beauty I try to bring to art? My mother told me when my marriage was young, Isabella, you must pretend that all is as it should be. The truth is dark, but you must maintain your own.
I hate to say it, Senora, but I think your mama was spouting a few should statements of her own. Keeping up that illusion must have been draining.
That is why I tried to create my own illusions. If I depicted love and chastity in their ideal form, I could make that illusion come true.
Well, Senora, if anyone were strong enough to change the world's morality, it might be you. But I think you know the truth is that you don't have that kind of control. No one does.
Then why am I here, Sam? Why are any of us here? Are we here to eat, sleep, fornicate, and die?
I mean, that's why your husband and your son were here, clearly. That was mean. I'm sorry, Senora de Este.
I know a few folk who might say that's why we're here. It's one of them existential questions, ain't it? Here's my take, Senora. I think you're here to be you.
I certainly hope you have something more intelligent to contribute than that.
I don't really. Here's the thing, Senora. None of us is going to change the world overnight, or even in a millennium of nights. But our being here, being ourselves, swings the pendulum in a whole bunch of unknowable ways.
That is a dark interpretation of reality. Are we truly so powerless?
Isabella sees imperfection as helplessness. Help her.
That is a dark interpretation.
Isabella sees imperfection.
That is a...
What I'm saying, Senora, is not that we're powerless. I'm just saying we ain't going to change the world on our own. Not everyone's going to buy what we're selling, but some people are going to get it. People are still out there talking about the art you brought to the world. Maybe fellas like me don't know who you are. I bet that nasty Pope from your time wasn't your biggest fan. But you can't help but be an influence on people. Just not all people. Ain't that so?
I do not know if that is enough for me, Sam.
Well, here's what I think we should do, Senora. All them efforts of yours are always facing outward. How about we spend some time on you?
What do you mean?
I mean, let's work on the things Isabella d'Este likes. Forget about the rest of the world. What are you putting in your art that's for you and not for anyone else? Is it a little embarrassed?
Hush. If you must know, it is centaurs. I like centaurs.
Hey, I ain't gonna judge. Sometimes I like horses better than people too.
Yes, well, they are pleasing to look at.
Now, how about this then? Why don't you pick up a brush and paint yourself up a centaur?
I have not attempted to paint for centuries.
This is just for you, Senora. No expectations. How's that sound?
I cannot believe I revealed this thing to you.
I'm glad you did. I'm a lucky fella. I get to know an Isabella d'Este no one else knows.
And no one else will know, or I will make you suffer. Capiche?
You got a deal, Senora. I'm here to be supportive, that's all. I hope that when you come back next month, we'll be having a nice conversation about you finding your muse.
Yes, perhaps. Very well, Sam. I do not understand your ways, but I cannot deny you have a certain untamed wisdom. I shall attempt to paint a centaur. This is not what I expected from therapy, but I shall do as you suggest. I shall see you in 4 weeks then. Arrivederci, Sam.
Oh yeah, see you soon, Senora. Arrivederci.
She didn't even try that time.
Never cease to impress. Centaurs.
I don't think you're supposed to know about that, boss.
I am 3,000 years old, my friend. Horse people are somewhere at the very tip of my kinky iceberg. It is already forgotten.
Well, the Senora's pretty embarrassed about it, so I'd appreciate it if you kept it to yourself.
Senora d'Este is wise to put her faith in you, Samuel. I will gently remind you that relationships between therapists and clients are highly discouraged.
Why are you saying that again? Like I had any part in that.
Oh, come on, Andy. It ain't like that. Senora d'Este is just... You're messing with me.
Of course I am.
All right, you know what? I'm going downstairs. I could use a drink.
Well earned, Samuel. Please, rest in peace.
All right, time for the nails on a chalkboard pronunciation of Crimson again.
Poor Senora. That lady's holding on to a lot of anger. Reminds me of myself as a young vampire. Pretty hot in here tonight. I think I'll get some air. Maybe I can get to know Bert a little better.
I would love to get to know Bert a little better. We have not seen him in ages.
Hey, Bert.
Yeah! It's Bert!
Same old, huh? So, what do you think of Leipzig, Bert? Real fascinating architecture here.
Growls
Hey, not
boredly.
everyone's into architecture, I get it. So what do you do for fun here?
Can you get him a whiteboard or something, dude?
More of a homebody, I guess. Yeah, I'm a little introverted, too. Spent 90 years walking in the woods, you know. Yeah, there's nothing I like better in nature. Trees.
This man is very obviously bored of your
Just seem so
introversion.
dead at night. I can tell I'm interrupting. Well, nice talking to you anyway, Bert. I'm gonna head inside.
I loved talking to Bert.
Fun night.
I forgot he could talk.
Hey, Crimson, how's the crowd?
Hey, cowboy. Bit busy tonight, but how'd your session go?
No, I think this lady's starting to realize what she can't control, which is a lot. She's still mad as hell about it, but I think we're getting closer to acceptance.
I know how she feels, cowboy. I feel like I wasted years of my life in D.C. trying to make the world a better place. But it sounds like you are making progress to me. She's got time to make her peace. That's what Andy says about you vampires.
Yeah, that's true. We can take 40 years or 400, but that's up to us.
In the meantime, I'll whip something up for a hot summer night.
Tasty looking.
What's this now?
Blood margarita. Figured a hot-blooded desperado like you could use something cold.
Fancy glass and everything.
Oh, mighty kind of you, Crimson. I'll let you get back to work and take this up to my coffin for a quiet night.
Night, Sam.
Now let's see, what'll help me reflect on the night? I think there's something Omar Khayyam once wrote that I can look up.
Oh,
Or I
specific.
could watch Buster Keaton almost get himself killed a bunch.
Watch a man abusing himself for fun.
There's one fella who had a death wish. Too bad he didn't become a vampire. I think that's enough for one night. Better get me some shut-eye. Got the feeling my work's gonna get harder before it gets easier.
Okay, really quick. I do actually have to put the stuff I have in the washer in the dryer at some point, so that point will be now. I return.
My dear Samuel, greetings. How are you feeling tonight?
Honestly, I'm feeling a little like a horse who's about to be ridden by a big old fella.
Why would you say it like that?
I am not certain I comprehend your meaning. Have you met a special someone, my friend?
What? No, it ain't that. I mean, I'm feeling a little on edge. Edmund's coming in.
Aha, our actor friend. What about him has you nervous, Sam?
He's just a lot to deal with. I find myself a little drained after our sessions.
Ah, yes. Challenging the reality distortion fields of those with narcissistic tendencies is taxing.
I know, but if I'm here doing this therapist thing, I should help him one way or another.
Ah, remember your own distortions. You are under no obligation to help Edmund. If helping him drains you, remember that you do not have to aid him.
Yeah, you're right. I still want to try, though. I want to see if I can help him.
I shall not stand in your way then. Have you an idea of what distortions he might be exhibiting tonight?
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Okay, so tonight we asked him to go home and do some acting in the mirror. So,
I think that should cover it.
I wish you peace and patience, Samuel. Good luck tonight.
Thanks, Andy. Edmund, amigo, how's it hanging?
To the left and most proudly, my dear boy.
I don't like that you answered it like that.
Indeed, tonight I sit before you victorious. Thy gentle prodding hath guided me back to the womb of creation.
Why do you talk like that?
Do I want you to spell that out for me?
The stage, good sir, the stage. For if all the world's a stage, then the stage is where humanity is born.
So,
Yeah, I guess that must be true. So what are you saying? You nabbed some kind of juicy roll?
Not just any role. Nay, I have been given the opportunity to once again subvert the audience's expectations. Though it was thy tender words that cleared the mists of doubt from my mind and reminded me that I belong to the stage, not to the audience.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, Eddie. Tell me all about it. What's been going on?
Do you remember the advice you gave me when last we met?
I told you to film yourself doing some acting, right? How'd that go?
I did as you suggested. I set up a camera, and for no one but myself, I became the Dane.
I have forgotten who the Dane
Marmaduke?
is.
Jesus.
My dear boy.
Ah,
Hamlet.
yeah.
I watched the great Edmund Kean inhabit the bard's greatest role once again, and in him I saw humanity pure, naked, and true.
Did you actually do it naked?
It was akin to pornography, only it's far more revealing. That Edmund Kean, I told myself, he and only he could produce something so beautiful.
Why are you
Edmund's
like
belief that he is the
this?
center of the world is personal.
It was akin to pornography.
Wait just a minute there, Eddie. You're an incredible actor. Everyone agrees on that. But it's a big world out there, and everyone's got their own experiences. We all got capacity to do incredible things. It's a combination of luck, perseverance, and being in the right place at the right time.
But don't tell Edmund Kean that.
You ain't a great actor because you're Edmund Kean. You're a great actor because of the things that made you Edmund Kean.
You toy with the fates and flirt with pedantry, my dear boy. It is often said that an infinite number of monkeys with an infinite number of typewriters and infinite time could produce all the works of Shakespeare, but such a thing is infinitely unlikely. If you will permit me to continue, to watch myself act without an audience was simply rapturous. I am not ashamed to admit that I did weep. I wept for the stage, that I deprived it of my greatness on account of my own misplaced dread. I have been a cream-faced loon. Most religious in it. Why should Edmund Kean fear any audience?
Cream-faced loon.
You spoke truly. Edmund Kean bared his chest to all the slings and arrows of an unappreciative audience and was somehow surprised when they hit their mark. The Edmund Kean that you see before you is armored in love of the craft that no arrow may penetrate, and so casts aside the cloak of cowardice.
I forgot that you are somehow worse than Dr. Drain.
To think, I feared mortal directors. I feared the audition and the criticism that would come afterward. I feared the cast list, bereft of Edmund Kean.
Well, you didn't fear them, you murdered them.
But to you I give thanks. For can a mortal director know my brilliance?
Oh my god.
Nay. They're all clay-brained guts and mouldy rogues.
Oh
Their
no.
disrespect for the craft makes fools of them. I know in my damned soul that the stage is worse off without Edmund Kean, and nothing any mortal director can say will disabuse me of this.
Hi, Lemmy.
Ergo, I did ask myself, Edmund, what is an audition? Is it a trial to overcome? Is a director a god dispensing holy judgment?
So, yes, I will be playing Elden Ring next week, by the way. Either Monday or Wednesday. Probably Monday, but I haven't quite decided
And I
yet.
replied, Edmund, do not ask such foolish questions, the answers to which thou knowest well. An audition, my dear boy, is not an opportunity, but an invitation to display the craft before another. So I told myself, why not act, dear boy? And so I did.
Just waiting for Night Rain. You have been. You mention it every time you come in.
So you did an audition, all right. That's great. Did you have fun with it?
You speak so simply, my friend. Fun does not adequately describe the feeling one has when the muse takes over. It is transcendence, an affirmation of purpose, to condense humanity within oneself, if only for a moment. It is an orgasmic experience.
Do you ever talk not like this? And also, do you ever do anything other than Shakespeare?
That sounds intense, Eddie. Having an orgasm in front of someone else is pretty brave.
Oh, but it is freeing. A true actor hides nothing. The director, she told me she had never witnessed such a thing in all her years, few as they were.
Wait, you didn't actually orgasm at the audition, did you?
I am certain that she thought to herself, is this Dionysus reborn? Why have the fates graced mine eyes with such depth of the human spirit?
Watching IGN beat one of the Night Raid final bosses actually pissed me off. Well, why'd you watch him do it then? Everybody and their mother knows IGN sucks.
So, how do you know she was thinking that, Eddie? Director's usually just thinking about how they can put on a good show, right?
Oh, thou sweet babe, how little thou knowest. The poor lady has only seen a parade of mortals cross her door. How could she be prepared?
Because it was
for
the only
anything?
footage of the new boss. Why don't you let yourself be surprised? Lemmy. Why don't you experience the joy of not knowing what you'll see until you get there and see it? IGN, icky gooey nerds.
Well, maybe she couldn't be. I'm just saying you're gonna be a lot more content if you're dealing with truths.
Cause I can't fucking wait. Learn
If
to!
you go into this assuming she thinks you're a god reborn, how are you gonna work together?
You were patient enough to build 10,000 points. Can't you be patient enough to experience surprise and joy? No. Okay.
You both got your jobs. Hers is putting on the show, and yours is lighting up the stage. Reading her mind ain't letting her speak it.
You must ever play the mirth-destroying ninny, mustn't you? Yes, I could not read her mind, I admit it. Art thou satisfied?
It ain't about my satisfaction, Eddie. I'm just making sure you're going into this thing with a clear head.
If you must, but allow me to continue. This time, my friend, I did not have to wait for a cast list at all. You are looking at a leading man once more.
Hey, congratulations, Eddie. That's great. See, I knew you'd get your mojo back if you remembered what made you love the stage in the first place.
Okay, at least I'll experience the other 6 bosses with no prior knowledge. That is, if it isn't all over my FYP. That's all a girl can ask for, Lemmy.
For this, I am eternally grateful, and indeed, I do have an eternity to be grateful.
Oh, funny thing that happened to me at work today. I was telling a coworker something, and at one point in the conversation, I don't even remember why I said it or had to say it, but I was going to say, it's not like I have a husband and kids, except all I ever hear anybody say is wife and kids. I rarely hear the phrase husband and kids, so my brain, before I said it, automatically corrected to wife and kids, and then I was like, wait, no, fuck, I meant husband, and then my coworker gave me a look, and now I'm pretty sure he thinks I'm a closeted lesbian. So, got that going for me. We love adding to the Dutch lore.
Now I can already hear the calls resounding through the theater. Keen, 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 give us keen.
You may want to pick a different name.
Nonsense. They will say Edmund Keane has returned and be none the wiser as to the accuracy of their statement.
So what's the big role, Eddie?
We get to the meat of it, unto the very sinew at last. They say that every story is a circle, that we return whence we came. So it is with me. 'Twas tragedy that made me, tragedy that formed me, tragedy that raised me to glory, and tragedy that shall do so once more.
So what is it? King Lear? Romeo and Juliet? It's not Titus and Andronicus, is it?
I shall play the part of Piero. Piero, the clown who cried. Piero, the mask of the tragedy that is life.
I ain't familiar.
I believe you are, though you know a far inferior version. The one made famous by that ludicrous creature, Grimaldi. Sprut, my dear boy. Do you know nothing of late 18th century English theatre?
He's a cowboy!
You must have skipped that subject in frontier school.
Grimaldi was the other influential actor in London. But whereas I drew out the soul and laid it bare on stage, Grimaldi, in comparison, was a clown, a jester, a funny man. Grimaldi was an artist, like myself. But where my canvas was the soul, his was the latrine.
Yeesh, dude.
When I strode upon the stage, my audience saw all the acts of life play out, in all their woe and joy. Oh, but Joey Grimaldi, the great clown himself, could create bottom noises with his armpits.
It sounds like you're a little resentful, my good man.
Yet whose name was on the lips of the adoring public? Not Keane's, no. Not the bard's emissary. Give us the farting clown, they cried. Give us Grimaldi. So you see, my dear boy, for me to play the tragic clown Piero, this is my opportunity to take what Grimaldi stole from me.
What did he steal?
He stole my audience.
Eddie, from what you've told me, I don't think you and this Grimaldi fella had the same audience. I don't think anyone showing up for a farting clown show and getting Edmund Keane is going to be too happy, and it'd have nothing to do with you.
Daniel Day-Lewis talking about Adam Sandler.
But if Grimaldi had not peddled his base filth, my audience would not have waned when it did. They would have been mine.
Edmund assumes his rival stole his crowd, but is it so?
But if Grimaldi had not peddled his base filth,
Edmund assumes his rival.
Eddie, I think you're blaming Grimaldi for something that wasn't in his control. Was Grimaldi really trying to steal your audience, or was he just selling something they were buying?
of course he was jealous. Why would he not be? If I were a middling actor and saw a young genius rising in the ranks of the Thespian Order, I would be much afeard of him.
Yeah, that's your thinking, Eddie, not Grimaldi's. You can't know what he was thinking.
Then you are a fool indeed, dear boy. For Grimaldi was the middling actor and I the young genius. It is my insight into character that allows me to see his mind.
Grimaldi wasn't a character, though, Eddie. He was a person. People are real complicated.
He was a thief and a fool. If not for his cheap entertainment, I would have had the whole of London hanging on my every word.
And if the sun didn't shine, we could go out during the day. Come on, Eddie, the world ain't waiting on you.
If ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we would all have a Merry Christmas.
Grimaldi had his audience and you had yours. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Perhaps, though I weep bitter tears to think the people so base. And I weep for myself, my dear boy. The riches and fame he received should have been mine, and would have been, had the fates not cursed me with his birth.
The fates cursed you with Grimaldi's birth? I don't think baby Grimaldi was thinking too much about you, my friend.
Well, no, he wasn't. He was 11 years my senior.
So maybe he was cursed with your birth then.
You delight in making me play the part of the fool, don't you?
You are about to play the fool, so...
The point I'm trying to make is that making things about Grimaldi versus Keene ain't doing you any favors.
There is some truth in your words. Why should I lower myself to his level? I am no flatulent jester. I am Edmund Keene. And mark my words, my boy. I shall cast Joseph Grimaldi from the Thespian Order. When I play Piero the Clown, Wikipedia shall forget all about that fool. You see, my dear boy, I have already calculated my triumphant return to the stage. Every move, every word, every expression shall be unassailable. You see, Edmund Keene is never wrong about matters of character.
I'm glad to hear your confidence, Eddie, but I just want to give you a word or two of caution. Acting's all about humanity, not just Eddie Keene, right? If you don't give yourself a little room to bend, your audience might not see themselves in you.
Ha! Let them dream their filthy little dreams. If my body is that which draws them in before I spring the theatrical trap, I care not.
I didn't mean that. I just meant that you're drawing some hard boundaries acting-wise. Giving yourself some middle ground ain't a bad thing.
I know you play your part, therapist, as I must play mine. I have heard your cautions. They need not be repeated. Indeed, I doubt our meetings will be necessary any longer.
Oh, no.
I must confess to some strong misgivings about you, therapist.
I'm the only reason you got to this point, bitch!
There are times when we speak that I feel exposed, diminutive, and weak, and I can only conclude from those feelings that you are trying to hurt me.
Mind reading?
That Edmund sees his
Center of the world.
That I feel
Oh, what?
There are times
How do you know I'm trying to hurt you, Eddie?
actor's intuition. The heart knows what the head doth not.
But the heart ain't always right, Eddie. I'm asking you what your head knows. How do you know I'm trying to hurt you?
I find thy mental games tiresome, therapist. Regardless, opening night is a month from now. I doubt you shall see me again, for I shall not need your services. The public thought they knew what a clown was. In a month's time, they will forget Grimaldi and Bozo, and only Keene's clown will remain. Therefore, why shall I need you? When I have the public's love that I am due, what need will I have for a therapist?
Oh, this is going to turn out swimmingly for Edmund Keene.
Hey, if you don't need me, I'm happy. There's lots of folks who can use my help.
I I was hoping you would lament my loss more than that.
Of course I'd miss you, Eddie. You're as interesting a fella as they come. But if you don't need me, I've done my job pretty well.
Yes, well, I must admit, your suggestion of filming myself was rather brilliant, and I do owe you my thanks. Do you have any final words of wisdom for me then, dear boy? Theatre has lost its popularity because of my absence. When the public takes notice of Edmund Keane once again, how might I prepare myself?
I just want to remind you, Eddie, that even if you give the greatest performance of all time, people ain't waiting for you. Think about how you felt when you were acting for yourself and not for the audience. Your most important audience member is you, compadre.
Ever the nemesis of mirth art thou, Sam Walls. But there is a little wisdom in what you speak. I shall remember Edmund Keane.
He's gonna come back in a month like, oh my god, they hated me, so I killed the whole audience. And once again, Sam will be sat here like, how does that make you feel, bud? And I'll be sat here like, he just committed mass fucking murder.
I suppose then that this is goodbye, dear boy.
You sure you don't want me to keep your session slot open for next month?
There is no need. As you are so eager to help others, please do so. And worry not for Edmund Keane.
Tell you what, I'll keep it open just this once. I'll take the night off if you don't show up. Sound good?
Then I beg you enjoy a night of simple peace. You shall not see me. I give you thanks. And please, send me a V-mail. I shall arrange theatre tickets for you if you are ever in London.
I'll do that, Eddie. You take care of yourself, you hear?
I shall be Edmund Keane's greatest advocate. Farewell, therapist. May fortune favor you as it has me.
Adios, Eddie.
Well, Samuel, it seems you are down one client.
I don't believe that for a fucking second.
Yeah, I guess so. If he thinks he doesn't need me, I guess I'm doing something right.
You are...
I don't know, Andy. I think that fella's got some more work to do, but he ain't ready to do it yet.
I believe you are correct, Samuel. I did warn you that this was likely to happen with our dear Edmund Keane. Do not consider it a failure of yours. Remember that we are all on our own journeys, and some of us need a little extra time to reach the next stage of that journey. Or in my case, a few thousand years. We cannot control the mind of any other.
Yeah, I suppose that's the way it's gotta be.
Go downstairs and have a drink to fate's whimsical turns. It is that which we cannot control that makes the world so rich and interesting.
All right, Andy, that sounds good right about now.
Go then, my friend. The night awaits. Rest in peace.
Well, that was a weird one. I guess it always is with Edmund. Half the time, I can't make heads or tails of what that feller's saying. I'll go check in with Crimson and see if she's got any of her wisdom to share. How we doing tonight, Crimson?
The drinks are flowing and the blood's pumping. Can't ask for more than that. How are you, Sam?
Well, I had my first client graduate. They quit therapy today.
Congratulations, cowboy. Helped a vampire see the light, huh? How do you feel about it?
I swear this fella's just doubling down on the stuff that's making him unbalanced. He thinks he's gonna make the whole world admire him. I'm afraid he ain't nearly born enough for mass appeal.
Sorry to hear it, Sam. I'm sure he must have gotten something out of talking to you, though.
Well, even if not everyone loves what he's doing, at least he's doing what he loves.
Hey, I'd call that a win, cowboy. Not everyone gets to do what they love.
Sounds like you got some feelings about that.
All right, I'm gonna let you in on a big, dark secret. Maybe even darker than the fact that I drink blood.
I'll hold it with high honor, Crimson.
I liked being a lawyer.
Oh, you're right. That is dark.
Oh, shut up. I was good, Sam. I fought the good fight, and I knew case law like the back of my hand. The law just moved too slowly for me in the end, and getting cancer made it seem meaningless. Now, I love this place, and I love Andy, but I know I wasn't born to bartend.
Couldn't you practice law in Germany?
You try learning German and tell me how it goes, Desperado.
You've got a good point, but then again, you are also functionally immortal so long as you drink Andy's blood, and you have been here for 20 years. So, first of all, you've got all the time in the world at this time, and second of all, if you haven't learned German by now, I think you're just bad with linguistics. You telling me you've been living in the country for 20 years, and you haven't figured it out yet?
Oh, come on, it ain't that hard. I picked up some German already. Ich spreche Deutsch good.
Hold me, Maxie. The cowboy is being once again too cute. I believe I shall burst.
Cowboy, come with us and we will teach you how to speak sehr good Deutsch.
I think I hear my dinner calling. I'll talk to you later, Crimson.
Be gentle with him, you two.
Oh no, it's the Goths again.
Now we will teach you the German that is most important for you to know.
I'm so scared.
It is important to ask politely when you wish to drink from someone's neck.
You are not about to teach me how to politely ask to drink from someone's
Tell
neck.
them, your neck is beautiful. May I drink from it?
Ihr Hals ist wunderschön. Darf ich von Ihnen trinken?
Actually, you know what? This one, I believe. I believe that they're just saying, your neck is beautiful, can I drink from it?
Now ask Reinhardt if he will let you drink from his neck.
He is gonna butcher this shit beyond belief.
It is very important to get the declensions correct in German.
You didn't even tell him what a declension was! As wunderschön,
Ihr Hals is wunderschön. Darf ich von Ihnen trinken?
Oh, meine Ohren.
Don't say it like that!
You made my boyfriend sad, cowboy. Now you must drink from his neck to make him feel better.
Oh, Maxie. I'm feeling very disoriented and euphoric. Oh, so I've done many club drugs.
I will take you home, Knutschkugel.
I didn't even know German and I know that was criminal. Yeah. Seapile knows German. Seapile hasn't been here in a while, though. Apparently they said some truly horrific shit the first time they came here.
Oh, Dankeschön.
Not Seapile. These two, in the first, stream of this game, said something awful.
Dankeschön, sexy. We must practice together, so. I must take this hot little man home now. Tschüss, tschüss.
Oh, yeah, see you later, you two. Well, it's about time for some shut-eye.
Dankeschön.
Good evening, Samuel. I believe you are seeing your elder vampire tonight.
That's right. I hope she's making some progress. Well, the world sure did a number on that lady.
The last time I spoke to Medi, she had killed 7 men in between the first session and the second. So
I am hopeful. One does not live so long without being very resilient. I have had a number of near-final death incidents myself, and I had been trained to fight since childhood.
That's true. She's clearly got a few tricks up her sleeve. I don't even know how she plays them 3D video games.
Based on her last session, you probably have some idea of her current concerns. Would you like to prepare your distortions?
So, Raccoon. Medi is an Irish, 1800-year-old Twitch streamer. They don't say the word Twitch, they use something else, but I don't remember what it is right now. And I'm sure you can gather a lot from about this woman already.
Yeah, I guess I better do that. Now, let's see.
True evil. This pink eye is fake, though. The one thing I don't understand, however, is that I'm pretty sure she was a vampire when she lost this eye, so I'm not sure why the eye did not grow back. Because it wasn't, taken out with a holy weapon or something. Somebody just stabbed it out. I don't know, maybe it was with a stake and I didn't even realize, but whatever. Blaming, definitely mind reading. Labeling, probably, and, I don't know, control fallacy. Whee!
All right, I think I've got what I need.
Very good, Samuel. I shall leave you. I believe I hear the flapping of ancient wings.
Greetings, my most favorite mouse.
Good to see you, matey. How's this month been for you?
Oh, it's been ever so tiring. This
Glitch.
channel hit 100 million followers. And they're very hungry for content.
Million? Does anybody on Twitch have 100 million followers right now?
What do you mean by content? Is it like making a TV show?
Oh, no, silly mouse. Do you know how we're hungry for blood all the time? mortals are like that too, but for content. And it's constantly putting up new things on the internet. They don't get content, they get frightfully bored.
I can see why that'd be exhausting.
It's alright, silly cowboy. It can be very nice. They're always very excited to see me. And they give me ever so much money. I don't know what to do with it all.
I mean, I hope you're at least donating some of it to charity to make up for the amount of people you have killed and continue to kill.
Well, sounds to me like you can afford to take a break, huh? Did you take that day off like you promised?
I did. I didn't like it very much.
I'm sorry to hear that, Maddie. What was bad about it?
It was very quiet. It was just me, alone, with no one to talk to but the voices in my head. And those voices are very unkind.
What do they say?
Oh. Guards!
They say, Maddie, you're being a very naughty vampire. You should respond
Thank
to
you.
your zealots. You should be planning your content.
You ain't a naughty vampire, Maddie. You're who you are. Labeling yourself ain't gonna help you none. You call yourself names and you're just gonna build up fear of being a naughty vampire, whatever the heck that is.
It's for my own good, sweet mouseling. You don't know how people on the internet can be.
Yeah, I gotta confess, I got almost no idea what you're talking about. I didn't get much past female.
I don't know what I'd do without the internet. I'd probably be a pile of ashes. Or maybe a desiccated, bloodless corpse.
Many
Oh, damn.
survived for nearly 2 millennia without the internet. I doubt its end would be hers.
Oh, so wait,
I
then
don't
what
know
is
what
it?
I'd do without the internet.
No,
Many
no.
survived for nearly
Which one?
I
Control
don't-
That's
fallacy?
some pretty extreme thinking
Yeah.
there, miss. You lived without the internet for a real long time. I don't know why you'd turn into a desiccated corpse without it.
I didn't remember for a second that control fallacy was also a lack of control.
I suppose I could live without it for a little while. But, you know, I don't belong here in this world, right, little mouse?
No, I don't know that. That's that extreme thinking again. There ain't no such thing as belonging perfectly, and there's a lot of space between thriving and being dead. I mean, look at us. We're both alive and dead, so I think we do a pretty good job of proving extremes not to be true.
Yes. I suppose you must be right. We're very bad at staying still like proper dead people.
I gotta ask, how'd you get so good at all this internet stuff anyway? I can't keep up with all this modern technology.
Well, back in the before times, I didn't need the internet very much. I used to live in the wilds where no one knew to look for me. If any silly mortals came to visit me, I would eat them. And if no one came to visit, I could go hunting for them on my own. But now there aren't any wilds. Now there are motorways and nasty machines. Now there are suburbs and shopping centers.
Lady, if you can't figure out how to disappear into the Amazon or like any American national park, I don't know what can be done for you.
So what did you do when the wilds went away?
Do you have any idea how many people disappear accidentally into like Yellowstone and you can't manage to do it on purpose when you only need blood to live?
I moved into the city, but I never liked it very much. People were very upset at me for being able to come out only at night. They started to whisper that I was a witch. I know what mortals like to do to witches.
When was this that you moved into the city? Are you talking like the first cities? Are you talking like modern cities? Because I'd say there's probably a lot of humans in modern cities that only go out at night. Just get the night shift at a gas station. You didn't have to do much beyond that.
Up goes the eyeball. Okay.
Oh, right, yeah. Funny. So, how'd you manage?
Well, I found out I could get mortals to do things for me in exchange for a peek at my naughty bits, and for their miserable little insect lives, they would clean up after all my messes. Realized that mortals only ever wanted one of two things from me: to kill me or to do sexual things with me. As long as they think they can have a chance of sexual things. I can control them.
I think you're shooting fish in a real small barrel there, miss.
Just
You're
hit my
judging
microphone,
mortals based on
sorry.
your experience, but there are about 8 billion of them out there. There are mortals who hate killing and hate sex, or don't even care about either of those things. Some of them just want to watch TV and they're happy with that.
Those are even more disgusting because they are cowards and liars.
Hey! Fuck you!
Best friends over the last millennia have been insects. Do you know why, little mouse?
Oh, why don't you tell me?
Insects never lie. They kill, they eat, and they make babies. Sometimes they eat their babies. They don't pretend to be intelligent and chivalrous. They just are. They never surprise me. That's why I don't let mortals surprise me either. If they were honest, they would eat their babies too.
Incorrect. Incorrect. Scientifically. How dare you? We actually, even if we were all slobbering animals with no thought, at the very least, in mortals, in regular humans, we have an instinctual drive to not do cannibalism. And the only people who do cannibalism are fucked up weirdos, or people who had no choice but to do it, or they would starve. Because of prions. Folded proteins. We die or go crazy if we do shit like that. There's a reason there's Wendigo myths.
Well, that conversation took a kind of dark turn, but I think I get what you mean about not letting mortals surprise you. You're protecting yourself, and that's a sensible thing to do. That being said, you seem pretty convinced that danger is a sure thing.
That's right. If I let myself feel safe, that's when they'll come for me.
That's another thing. You should meet Dr. Drain, and you can explain to him all the reasons why, despite being a vampire, you live in terror every day.
Well, my devoted little perverts were very helpful, but they had a very nasty habit of getting caught disposing of bodies. Policemen would shoot them into little bloody giblets. I don't like policemen very much.
I haven't had a good track record with lawmen either.
That's why I don't use them as my helpers. I can't trust them not to take their guns out and go, pow, pow, blam, 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 blam. Ugh, oh, I'm dying. My guts are falling out. Oh, why, policemen? Why? Ugh. Anyway, if my blood bags died, it would mean I couldn't get a fresh supply of blood without doing very risky things. I realized that the more blood bags I had, the safer I'd be. That's why when I found out about the internet, I knew I had to get online.
So then why are you still killing people? We keep circling back around to this question, lady. Why are you... I kind of understand why you killed those 7 men from last time, because in all your fear, you automatically assumed that them looking at you meant they wanted to hurt you, and ergo you killed them. But you have mentioned before that you need your followers to remove corpses from your apartment. If they are all willing to just give you blood, like if you have so many people who are willing to give you, why are you killing any of them? You don't need to kill any of them. I presume you have more than enough people to give you blood in one night that none of them need to lose all of it.
I guess that makes some kind of sense.
Oh, it was so exciting though, little mouse. All of a sudden, I could make people do whatever I wanted without having to leave my flat at all. I had so many fans, and they would disappear, but then they would be replaced by even more, just like insects. It was very easy back then. All you had to do is say you were a girl, and the grabby little grubs would come out of their holes. Ah, we want vaginas.
So I ain't exactly gonna defend how menfolk act on the internet, but going back to what we were saying before, using these funny labels of yours probably makes it easier to fall into the overgeneralization trap. If you label people on the internet grabby grubs, well, that's all you're gonna find. Know what I mean?
Sometimes I think maybe you're a fun vampire. You take all the fun and go...
I ain't trying to ruin your fun, Betty. Just asking you to think about the words you use and why you might be using them.
Oh, I didn't even realize she's got a wedding ring on.
But then people realized they could say that they were anything on the internet. It was all like a big game. And what do you suppose I said I was, little mouse?
Did she get married to the Avatok, or is that from the guy her father sold her to? Who knows?
Did you say you were a fella?
No, that wouldn't be a very exciting game. What would I do if I were a man?
I don't know. Scratch yourself and spit.
But I already do that, silly mouse. I said I was a vampire.
Well, that sounds kind of dangerous. I'm surprised you were so open about it after all you've been through.
Oh, but as far as they knew, I was only pretending to be a vampire because you could be anything you wanted to be. Sometimes they would come to meet me in person and they were so surprised when I drank all of their blood. But I don't think they minded very much.
You honestly think they didn't mind being killed by you?
Of course not. It was their greatest dream for a pretty young vampire to drink all of their blood. They really, really wanted it to happen.
Betty, you've been dead for what, 1,800 years? Somehow, I don't think you've got enough in common with a mortal in the 21st century to know what they're thinking.
Suppose you must be right. I don't think it matters, though. Their lives are so very short. Nobody asks what insects are thinking.
Yeah, but at least you ain't presuming to know what an insect is thinking.
Oh, you're a very smart, funny cowboy, man. That's a very good point. It was certainly a much nicer time to be online, though. I think that was my favorite time of the internet. There was a little place there for everyone. Even me. I ran a web ring for vampires. We had our own websites where we would invite people to come let us drink their blood. I suspected some of the others were actual vampires, but even I didn't know. That's what made it so special. We would send V-mails to one another and talk about vampire things. Oh, of course, it was nothing more than silly games. I think for the only time ever in my life, I had a community.
Gosh, you actually make it sound pretty nice. Maybe I should get a little more into this internet thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're too late for that internet, little mouse. It's all gone now.
Well, dang, what happened? Where did the whole internet go?
It went to social media. Face Friend and Gibber and Stumbler and all those. Instead of looking for people like us, we just started asking the entire world to pay attention to us instead.
Well, that don't make too much sense to me. Sometimes when I was walking in the deep woods at night, I just used to have a good yell, but I didn't expect nobody to answer.
But that silly little mouse. The darkness is always listening, and something will always call back. We just don't know who or what.
I'm having a little trouble following. So it sounds like you had a group of people you trusted, and then just anyone?
That's right. I didn't know who they were. They just started following me. And some of them followed me because they thought I was pretty, and some because they thought I was strange, and some because their friends were following me. Suddenly, I had 1 million mortals who would do anything I wanted them to do, and believe whatever I wanted them to believe. It's easy, you know, little mouse. They want to be controlled, and I can control them all.
They want to be controlled? How do you know that?
They live such short, confused lives, full of uncertainty. I'm doing them a favor, Mouseling.
Even if that's true, you still can't read their minds. Maybe they don't want that favor. Maybe they don't know they're uncertain. Heck, maybe they even like uncertainty.
Oh, silly cowboy. They don't know what they want or don't want. You know that. The only problem is that I have so many of them to take care of. The problem with having so many followers is that I have to feed them so much content. Even just playing video games all the time can be a lot of work.
And you said that taking that break didn't do much for you, huh? You were just thinking about all the work you have to do for your followers?
That's right.
It sounds like you might have a bit of an addiction, Betty. I gotta question whether having all these followers is a good thing for you. Having friends is nice, but these fans and zealots, well, it sounds like you've taken on a big task.
It is. But I can't help that they're so very needy. they weren't so hungry all the time, I wouldn't have to feed them.
Mitty, I gotta say, you gotta take on some of the burden of this decision to feed all those fans of yours. Feeding them ain't your responsibility, you know. They can beg and whine all they like. You don't need to do a damn thing you don't want to do. And they don't need you as much as they think.
Some of them say that I'm codependent.
Well, I think those might be the ones who actually give a damn about you.
At least there are some that need a little less attention. It's the zealots who are the most demanding.
Remind me again, who are these zealots?
From my Only Zealots page. The website where I show my breasts and vulva.
Oh yeah, that one.
Don't be scared, little mouse. You're acting like a mortal. It's just squishy parts, we all have them. They're not special.
Oh, fair enough. I'm just not a very European vampire yet. So, these zealots, they take up a lot of your time?
Yes. It's frightfully bothersome. But they're ever so reliable. And someone has to go deal with my landlord and my computer upgrades. And go to prison for me if necessary.
Well, dang, it sounds to me like you're asking way too much of each other. This can't be healthy. Isn't there a better amount of interaction on these websites?
But I always know best when it comes to the internet. I have more followers than just about anyone, little mouse. There's something more, though, about the internet and how it works. It's a secret, though. Can you keep a secret, little mouse?
I can keep a secret.
Nothing you say leaves this room.
Well, the secret is that the internet is changing. Because of me.
Mitty, I know you've got a lot of followers, but the internet changing to fit you? That's a lot to swallow.
But what if it's true? I think it's true. I really do. I see it changing.
All right, there it is. You think it's true, but you ain't sure. There's mortals and vampires all over that thing. None of us are that special. There's probably a lot of people out there feeling the same thing you are.
Oh, but I know something they don't know.
How do you mean?
I discovered something. Do you know how I told you that the internet used to be a nice way to meet people who thought the way I did?
Well, yeah, I think I got that.
Well, something there in the darkness is helping me. It makes people think they know me and want to follow me and be close to me, even if they wouldn't normally like me. It has been watching everything the mortals have been doing for a long time, and it remembers all of it, no matter how big or small. It counts every second, it remembers every click, it can tell you what you want before you even know it.
So the internet?
Well, you gotta be kidding me. Is it some kind of elder vampire?
I don't know, but it's growing very quickly. I learned how to speak with it. It calls itself
the algorithm.
Even hungrier than we are. It's the creature that told all those mortals to follow me in the first place. It decides what and how much content I need to make. It's probably listening to us right now. So as I told you, the darkness is always listening.
Mitty, if what you're saying is true, I think this is some really dangerous shit. This algorithm sounds like it's trying to turn humanity into a big formula.
Probably
But
true.
it's doing it. What if all mortals really are just the same?
Mitty, I don't think that's true. You said it yourself. People used to find each other because of their similarities, right? Now this algorithm, I don't think it's proven humanity is all the same. I think it's trying to push humanity all in one direction. It's trying to make them all the same.
But why would it want to do that?
I don't know. I just got a bad feeling about this.
Didn't you say that feelings don't make something real?
I know. I don't know. I think I don't know enough to say yet. Maybe. But Mitty, one thing I am sure of is that this algorithm thing is hurting you. It's telling you what content to make. Who the hell is it anyway? I gotta ask you to think about what you want. Pretend there ain't no zealots and there ain't no fans. What would you be doing if they weren't around?
Are you alright, little mouse? You've gone quite pale, which is impressive for a vampire. I don't wish to worry you.
Yeah, I'm fine. Just tell me you're gonna do something for you this month.
Well, I used to make my own clothing. I could try to do that if it would make you feel better, my sweet little rodent.
What'd make me happy, Mitty, is you doing something just for you. Does that sound good?
All right. I'll try then. I will see you next month.
Of course. You take care of yourself. I'll be looking forward to seeing what you've sewed up next time.
Then, farewell, little mouse. I hope you find a nice hole to scurry into.
And did you get that stuff about the algorithm? You ever heard about anything like it?
I am not eager to reveal such things to you, but there are sleeping terrors that could certainly consume us if we are unlucky enough for them to awaken.
Well, I think you're making a mountain out of a molehill. Is the algorithm good? No. But
No, I am not aware of any such creature. What Mitty described, a creature that takes note of every small change in nature, sounds like a force of nature itself. I will make inquiries. Do not fear, Samuel. Even if such a beast truly exists, it cannot change our nature as long as we are true to ourselves. This only proves how important our work is, does it not?
Yeah, you're right. I guess I got a little spooked, but we'll be fine.
You know what might make you feel better? Dancing.
I ain't that shook up, Andy. Maybe I'll go down and get me a drink, though.
I will not probe, though I am curious about your aversion to dancing. When you are ready to speak of it, I am here.
are you going to ask me to dance with you, Andy?
You're gonna be waiting a while, boss.
As long as it is less than eternity, I will be here.
Okay, you go do your wise old vampire wizard thing, and I'll go drink some blood. I'll see you later, Andy.
Rest in peace, Samuel.
Another night, another soul canceled. Can't believe someone as old as Mitty's letting anyone control her. I guess some problems don't disappear no matter how old we get. Well, time to get some bartender wisdom. Howdy, Crimson. Think you could whip me up one of them bloody steves?
Sure thing, cowboy. Tough night at the office.
Oh, just got some of them existential questions lingering on my mind.
Why don't you ask Crimson about the algorithm? I didn't get the notification you were live. But you know, Mr. Mint, that I go live every Friday, unless otherwise stated. Come on, dude.
Can you believe someone can be 1,800 years old and still let society tell them what to do?
What date is it? Again, dude? Are you still, visiting? No, if you were still visiting. Yeah. Wait, when did you get back? You probably got sick from some fuck in the airport, right?
I can believe it. Folks can get real uncomfortable when someone shows up and does things differently.
Oh, no kidding. My client's a weird one, but I think that's what makes her special. Just wish she saw it the same way.
Oh, your dad. Ah, that bitch. Don't tell him I said that.
Think you're making some headway, Chief? How's your session go?
No, don't tattle on me.
You know, it's funny. I think she was more concerned about me than anything else by the end of it. She's letting someone else tell her what to do, and that's a waste of everything that makes her special. I was so bothered by it, I guess I showed my hand and made it more about me.
Only you could give yourself a hard time for caring too much about someone. She was probably glad to hear someone be concerned for her if she focuses too much on what other people want.
Yeah, I suppose you could be right.
I get where she's coming from. Lawyers like rules, even about lawyering. My colleagues didn't care much for my style, so I had to adapt. But they'd get so bogged down in doing something right that they'd stop getting anything done.
How do you like to do things then?
I told you how case law is my thing, right? Well, I studied the worst.
Literally
cases.
only saw you were live because I was about to go to bed.
Because some corrupt judge invoked some ancient precedent.
You need to be able to cover it. Snot. Well, it's good that you're about to go to bed because after this day ends, I will be closing stream for the night. So you can stick around for a couple more minutes.
I used their tools against them, made them look like fools. What goes around comes around, right?
And your colleagues weren't into that.
Hell no. No one was gonna listen unless I was polite and civil. But power never listens to polite and civil.
Crimson was a lawyer. You missed some of the backstory, I think, because you missed 1 or 2 streams. So she was a lawyer in DC, and then she just she got tired of not being able to like make any real change. And then around that time, she got diagnosed with cancer. She was like, "Well, fuck, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna trip." And she accidentally met Andy because she fell into one of his like secret cave homes.
You got that right. Well, that's a shame, Crimson. Sounds like they lost a hell of a lawyer.
They sure did. Now, I got that drink for you. Sorry, no Bloody Steves this time. This one's a Gunther.
I'm sure I'll love it. I'll take it up to my coffin for a day cap. You have a good night, Crimson.
You too, cowboy.
Ah, there we go. Nice and cozy. Now, let's see. I can read Emerson. I think he's got a piece that'll help me reflect on the night.
Thinking what cocktail ingredients to go. Ooh. What? No, they are not fucking yet, unfortunately. What cocktail ingredients would go well with blood? Well, blood is mostly a metallic flavor. Would you want to cut the metallic flavor or kind of work with it? I think is the question there.
Or I could watch Charlie Chaplin make lawmen look like fools.
I was gonna say I can't Google that, but you know what? I am gonna Google that. Yo!
I'm always grateful to my transcendentalist family for introducing me to Emerson.
Get yourself put on a watch list. Ayo!
Nonconformist in self-reliance. Whoso would be a man must be a nonconformist. He who would gather immortal palms must not be hindered by the name of goodness, but must explore it if it be goodness.
As if I'm not already on
Nothing
them.
is at last sacred but the integrity of your own mind. Absolve you to yourself, and you shall have the suffrage of the world. I like that. Exploring is its own goodness. I learned that lesson hard in my quiet years. Just observing the world taught me more than all my years of living. With 1,800 years, who knows what good Meddy's found. Well, I think that'll do it for me tonight. Time for some shut-eye. Think I've got some tough battles ahead.
There he is, Samuel Walls, vampire therapist extraordinaire. How are
I
you
just
feeling?
got results for Bloody Marys. That is truly unfortunate. Hold on. Maybe you could look up certain foods that taste metallic sometimes and then figure out what goes good with those. I don't know. People also make like blood soup and shit from like animal blood or like blood sausage. I would assume the most similar drink to blood would be like tomato. So I'm gonna guess blood drinks have the same toppings like celery. It might just end up still being a Bloody Mary, but I don't know. Could it be? I don't know. Recipes that call for animal blood. Blood is food. Recipes. "166 easy and tasty blood recipes by home cooks." There goes another on the watch list. Blood custard pie? What? Alright, hold on. Blood custard pie. Okay, yes, blood custard. Okay. The blood custard is made with 2 cups of milk, 1/2 cup of sour cream, 100 milliliters of blood, goat was used, but pig or beef will also do, 1 vanilla pod or vanilla essence, 80 grams caster sugar. I don't know if I could personally get past the iron taste. Yeah, I don't know. It might be too much for me too, but I am actually heavily considering making a blood custard pie. 1 tablespoon unsweetened cocoa powder and 50 grams cornstarch. And then the pastry dough is just like, it appears to be almost regular pie dough, except instead of water, it uses milk. And it also adds brown sugar and egg yolk. Where are you getting the blood, Dutch? There is a farm nearby me where I could get a half cow if I wanted to. I'm sure they would sell me some blood. So, Raccoon, if this recipe does taste good, which the person who made it claims it does... Oh, you found something? You have a reputable blood dealer. This implies that something with vanilla flavor or chocolate flavor could be good with blood. Your thoughts? I think maybe if we do like a Captain Morgan in blood. If you make blood custard from your own blood, is that auto-cannibalism? Yes! I don't see how that could not be auto-cannibalism. 3/4 ounce blood orange juice, 3/4 ounce cherry liqueur, 1/2 ounce creme de cacao, 1/4 ounce Averna Amato, 1 ounce cold pressed coffee, 1. Oh my god. Wait, why is pig in quotation? The fact that pig is in quotations is more disturbing than it not being in quotations. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Are you implying that it's long pig? I don't know. I don't know, Raccoon. I think you are now legally obligated to make this for me specifically at some point. Do you have a reputable blood dealer? Pig is pig, no matter the length. It's just pig. Calm down. Would you be willing to make and drink it? Because if you're willing to make it, I think I'd be willing to try a sip. Just saying. We should do it for Halloween. You make a blood cocktail, I'll make a blood custard pie, and we won't tell anyone what's in them until they've already thrown it up onto the floor. Oh, I think it'd be worth it. Unrelated question, how much blood would I be able to lose without health risks? That's a question for Mr. Mint, I would say. I'm just kidding. Twitch. Like 3-ish liters. Oh, that's more than enough. You could make them for the whole party. Or at least everyone who we're cooking. Yeah! You could make enough for the people we know who drink. It was just 2. Like, I would only go 2. But what if we, like, drew them slowly throughout the course of the day and made sure he had some blood custard pie in between the drawings? Yo, wait. Go past 3 and you're dead soon. Wait, what do you mean, yo, wait? Someone pre-games in the... Oh my god, you're a fucking genius. It's not enough that the cocktail has other liquors in it. We need the blood that we put in the cocktail to have liquor in it. Were there any reviews on this cocktail recipe that you found? Anybody comment on how the blood changed the flavor? Or? The blood custard one says, we can't say why we've not tried this until now, probably because there's blood in it, but there's no going back. This one's a keeper. The custard is smooth with a lovely texture, not too rich nor cloyingly sweet. The vanilla complements the blood well, and the hint of cocoa adds a small yet pleasant depth to the ensemble. You'll see what we do in the Shadows drug blood. First it just tasted like blood, then a finish started kicking in. I think it would be worth it. I think it would be worth it. I wonder where I'd be able to get goat's blood from. Still need to watch that show. Yeah, same here. Never seen it. Occultist. Alrighty. Oh, you know what else? Nebraska. You know what else I almost forgot that I need to do? Is, I need to raid. I have the sticky note on my monitor reminding me to do it and everything. You know, I've been raiding Natsu Vega a lot lately. I think I'll try to find, something else. Search and filter. I don't know. Let's get the PNG tuber. Oh, hey, this person's playing Expedition 33. Sharing for the Raven, good night all. Yeah, I feel better, Mr. Mint. I'm sorry to hear that you're sick. One of my coworkers was sick today, too. Alrighty, but thank you for joining me. Had a lovely evening. I hope you did as well. I've got my Twitch, YouTube, and Discord linked in my Twitter, YouTube, and Discord linked in my Twitch bio. And I will be streaming again next week, probably Elden Ring, Breath of the Wild, and again Vampire Therapist. So I will see you then. Adios. Have a wonderful rest of your night, and we're gonna go raid. Bye-bye.